Hey everyone, it's Brittany, and welcome to my very first speed build. I really wanted to kind of challenge myself with this, and ironically enough, I picked probably one of the hardest things for me to do for my very first speed build. But I found this black octagon shaped house on Facebook. My friend sent me this awesome picture that was, it's all black inside with white accents, and it's just really cool, and I absolutely loved it. And I thought, oh, that should be easy to do. There's octagon roofs. I can make an octagon room. No. As you can see, I am struggling here. I could not for the life of me figure out how to get that room shaped like an octagon and how to get the top room shaped like an octagon. And then, because it had a patio on it, I couldn't get the patio right either. So I was trying to do it with fences. I was trying to just do everything I could to potentially get this octagon shaped front area that's going to be the living and everything, and get the porch on it as well. Eventually, I just started going for these tiny little triangles, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to build this whole thing out of triangles. And that's what I did. I built the entire thing out of these tiny little triangle pieces because it was the only thing that my brain could make work. I'm sure there's an easier way of doing this. Like, I'm 100%, almost 100% sure that there would be an easier way of doing this. But oh no, not me. I had to take the difficult path. So, managed to do that somehow, and then it was too big, and then it was too small. One of the things I did change from the original building is I wanted to add on this kind of top patio area, and you'll see later on my epic struggles with the roof. Like, I thought I could just drag it down, I thought I could do all these things. It was not working. So I thought, oh, I'll just put this in here and that'll be totally fine, and I'll just copy a bunch of pieces of the roof and it won't show through. It'll be fine. It was not fine. Oh my gosh, it was not fine. This was just hours of me struggling to get this on there. So, yeah, and I left all that in because I thought that, you know what? If anything, maybe someone can see what I did wrong and they'll be able to help me out. The back roof part was really easy. Like, this back end of it was just supposed to be the other living area for it. I think in the original build, it was actually a garage, but obviously we don't have cars in The Sims 4. And you'll see, by the way, as I keep going, I keep shortening down that spot. Like, it just keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller because I just started with a nice big box. So, but yeah, so I wanted to have this, really cool fence, and it was all kind of really gothic looking. And I really wanted to maintain that vibe, that kind of gothic look to it. I thought that just looked really cool, and I figured, you know what, why not just lean into it and we'll just keep it going. So again, I'm fighting with the roof. There's no point in here where I am not fighting with the roof. The entire time is just me fighting with the roof. But eventually I did figure it out, but when I get to the interior, you're going to see me struggle with the roof again. And that was when I noticed, by the way, that the walls were set to super tall. But I didn't want that. I didn't want super tall walls. No one likes those. I cannot find a single person who actually likes super tall walls. And if there is, bless you, honestly. And you'll notice that again that I'm doing the whole thing all in black there. I just shrank the back room again, because that's all I do, is I would just sit and shrink back rooms all the time. But eventually I will move into hopefully furnishing it, and I started to put a little bit of trees in there, and this is why I chose Glimmerbook for this, because the original building had a lot of really cool, it's just out in the woods. It almost looked like, a geometric witch's cabin. I just thought it was really awesome. But I wanted to, kind of keep that foresty vibe, and I felt like this world really matched that. But it was just really good. And this is me also trying to do my best at some kind of landscaping originally the build didn't have any landscaping. Like I said, it was just out in the woods, but I'm like, well, I can't just leave that blank. That looks stupid blank. And so I started to think like, okay, well, I'll have this, and then I was like, nah, I'm just gonna throw a bunch of grass in there, throw some flowers occasionally. All right, the people who live here, while you'll see that they're very meticulous inside. You know, like everything follows a theme inside. Outside, they're very much of a scatter the seeds to the wind and hope something happens. So, I don't know. I wanted to keep that kind of foresty vibe on the exterior. And you'll notice that I don't do much other than the landscaping outside. And that's because I do everything else in that top porch, that top patio area up above. And it's just a lot of fun. So I think this is a spot where I shorten the back room again, possibly. But this is where the kids' bedrooms and the laundry are going to go. And we'll have a loft upstairs. Now, the original build had this really awesome looking wrought iron spiral staircase, but we don't have that, so that wasn't going to work. But yeah. And this, by the way, is where you'll see my roofing problems are going to come in again, because once I remove that floor and try and put the fence in there, the roof comes back and it clips through. I could not, for the life of me, figure out how to not have it do that, so I kept undoing it. Again, I'm sure that there's some way that doesn't happen, but it wasn't working for me. I could not get that to happen. I'm sure that, like, if the walls were down, I wouldn't even have seen it, and it wouldn't have been a problem. But yeah, so this is where I started experimenting with, okay, what other kind of pieces could I put on here? And I decided to just go with these. It doesn't look fabulous. I will be the first person to admit that it does not look like how I want it to look. And then I had to figure out, like, oh crap, I gotta extend it somehow. Somehow I have to extend this. I have to make it bigger in some way, shape, or form. So this is what I came up with. It's not great. I'm well aware of that fact. Feel free to roast me and or possibly teach me how to do better. Like, I would love to learn how to do a better job at this. Like, that would be my first thing that I would love to do, is just to be better at what I'm doing, because roofing is one of the worst things I could ever do. And then that started clipping through there and I couldn't do that. So again, I was doing the best I could, but if you guys have tips for me so that I can learn and be better at it, please tell me. I would love to do, just do a better job at my life, basically. Originally, I was going to have this kind of entrance hall, but then I really just felt like it was already pretty blocky inside, and I didn't want to add in, just that front entrance. And again, you will see the shapes of these rooms change like 5 different times, this back area. All right, like I wanted to have this, I wanted to have that. And again, this was in the original build, this was the garage area back there. So obviously I couldn't make it into a garage, so I thought I'll make it into a little workshop area. And by the way, this is me looking at that roof and I hate it. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. But you know what, we're gonna live with these things. So it also, on the interior of it, it had this really cool kind of, industrial foresty vibe. And I really liked that. Now, if I wasn't going to have a wall back here to show like a chimney for it, I wanted to have some kind of vent. So you'll see that I did put a vent in there. So that was just something I thought was really cool. But yeah. So then this will become the kitchen area. And again, the interior was all black. I thought it just looked super cool, super fun. But it also had a lot of like white accents. So I really went with that. The kitchen, by the way, it does get a little clippy. Okay. But that's simply because working on those diagonals was extremely difficult. And I really wanted to put in a tall shelf, but I couldn't because I realized that that's where my fridge had to go. And you'll see at one point where I go and I look at the original build and I realize, oh crap, the kitchen is not black at all. The kitchen is all white. So I had to go in and change the whole thing, which was fine. I was totally okay with that. I totally loved changing everything that I was doing for the sake of one singular thing and then going in and changing them again. So again, the kitchen's not perfect. I tried to get it as close as possible to make sure that the counters where the appliances were functional. Like they were just on a straight line. There wasn't anything clipping into them. So, and for the most part, when I do builds, I actually don't do a lot of move objects. I do some, but I don't like having things set super close in. So here's the dining area. And again, this is where, I was kind of going for the all black look at first, but it really felt like looking at that, I was just like, oh, that's just, no, it's too much. So this is where I really started adding in a lot more of those white accents just to give it a little more pop, because if you have all black, it all just starts to look the exact same. But if you add a little bit more in there, then it'll go a lot better. So that's why I went in and, just added in a lot more of those elements. But, and by the way, that's from the new plant pack or kit that I just really think is super cute, and I love it. And again, this is where I just go through and I find things. I find things that I like, and I just play around. So I did some decorations in the kitchen. I did give it a dishwasher, tried to go for the cheapo, because no one wants to pay that much money for a dishwasher. And I went in with a nice little rug. And again, I didn't like the dining area. And the reason why I didn't like the dining area is because I realized that I wanted to have, it originally was just going to be a little breakfast nook. But then I realized, oh man, I really want to have, like a fireplace sitting area, and then also an actual living room area. So there's the fireplace area that's just these couple of chairs, and I think it's like 2 chairs and a couch and a poof or something like that, that is just chilling by the fireplace. And then on top of that, we've also got a separate, a little drinks tray and everything like that. And then we've also got a separate actual living room with the TV and everything. So there's the cozy fireplace area, but then there's also the actual, sit and watch TV kind of area. And I really liked the diagonals with this because I feel like that just worked really nice. I just feel like it looked like kind of a realistic way you might set up a living room. Like, I don't know about you, but the square setup for a living room for me doesn't work that well, but I really liked being able to do this with it. And again, playing with rugs, because that's all I ever seem to do is playing with rugs. But yeah, I just kept wanting to add in enough details, and then I got this little side table and everything. One of the things you'll see that I find in there while I'm looking through stuff is the Christmas tree and the holiday tree. The reason why I put that in there is because, number one, we're close to the holidays when I'm posting this. Yay. And number two, because in the build that I found, it had a little Christmas tree. And I put in, this is the storage thing from Nifty Knitting. And I don't know about anyone else, but I personally love that. I heard someone once say that, oh, no one really uses that storage cabinet from Nifty Knitting. I use it all the time. Because I think that it just looks cute. I think it looks absolutely adorable. So I put that in, and I decided, you know what, they're going to be a little bit crafty. They're going to be kind of creative people. I mean, they live in an all black and white house out in the middle of the woods in the witch's world. All right, they're going to be a little bit crafty and creative. So I wanted to add that vibe in. And they're also kind of plant life as well. And I wanted to put in a nice little table and rug right by the entrance and a nice mirror, because you want to be able to make sure you look cute when you go out. And that was when I realized that I didn't have a trash can, because I'm genius. There will be a point, by the way, where it just all of a sudden switches to me furnishing the back area, but I will give us a tour right at the end so that we can see exactly what we've got going on so far. So this is their master bedroom. It's kind of a little bit more private than the others. This is where you have the kind of semi-office as well. And you'll see that we've got those kind of black and white elements as well. And, just as many little design elements as I can. Yep, this is where I realized that I had missed everything. So you missed me furnishing the bathroom, so I will show those. I'm onto the kids' bedrooms right now. So this is where I'm getting this is kind of our teenager's room. And I wanted to give them kind of that rebellious teen vibe. Like they were very, kind of a creative kid, because obviously he feels, they feel maybe kind of stuck in this same world because I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got to live in this entire black and white house. My parents are crazy. But they also kind of vibe with it. So that's what they went with. So I went with kind of like a nice mature desk for their teen. And then I went with kind of these cute little, animals, things that, I would imagine you would have if you were that person. So this is where I put in the, guitar, the painter's easel. Like I said, they're a really creative kind of person. And I was trying to put a mirror in there, but it just didn't work. And then I think eventually, I can't remember what I settled on. I settled on something, I looked at that, I was like, no, that's not happening. I think I settled on that, oh yes, I decided that she was a lesbian. And that's what I settled on there, so. And this is the child and the toddler's room. Yes, they have to share a room, but the teenager needs her privacy, okay? These two are fine, okay? They've got a cute bunk bed. They've got everything that they need. And again, this is a really creative family, so the child's going to have the creative aspiration. And so I've got everything that they would need for that there. And then I gave them a little dollhouse, and again, the black and white bear, because you have to go with black and white in this house. Like, they've accepted and acknowledged it. And, by the way, those butterflies, I think, are the cutest thing ever. And I wanted to put in some of the crafts that you would get from the arts and crafts table, like like the spring crafts that you can draw. So I did that, and then I did some kind of creative little things in there. And then again, this back room was not my finest work. Like, this is where I just put in, like, all right, this is just the place where they come back and they do their work. So I decided that I was going to make it into two things. Number one, it was going to be a gym, and so that's why I put the mirrors in there. So I think that really worked well. And I think that in my mind that that yoga mat belongs to our teen, obviously, because she's got the rainbow pride flag. And then I wanted to put in, just a couple of creative things. I started with the juice fizzer, but I decided to scrap that and just go with the fabricator, just because it worked better there. And then I think, that's where I put the box. And then I think I don't think I put anything else in there, honestly. Just because it felt like there was enough. And then this is me throwing more grass in there because I wanted that woodsy vibe. But, and then, just some finishing touches. Put a nice little mailbox in there. Make sure I had the trash can outside. And then initially I was going to paint the path, but I really just didn't like how that looked. I mean, everything else is fairly clean cut, and I was like, oh, this is going to look weird. So I decided, what, I'm just going to put this path down there. And put in a few flower boxes just to make it seem kind of cute. And then I think one of my last finishing touches that I put on there, because like I said, they're very much this creative group, with some flowers and everything. And I was experimenting with like what plants I wanted to put on each side. And then I think eventually I just decided that I wanted the rocking chair, because why not? I think it's cute. But so that is my build, and we are actually going to go in and take a look at the whole thing in in build mode. Wow, I'm real great at this. So we're gonna go take a look at that. I did post this on my gallery if you guys wanted to take a look at it, so feel free. So let's take a look. All right, so now we're going to get into our final product. I really like how the light looked in here. I think that it looked really good. I think that the build just looked really nice. Like, I like the exterior, but so you've got our front entrance here with all the plants and everything. Their nice little rocking chair. And then we've got our kind of fireplace relaxing area with the entrance, and we've got our kind of creative nook. From there, you go into the kitchen that has all the appliances that you could need, including, a little bit place for the kids to maybe do their homework while mom and dad are, cooking dinner. And you've got the nice dining area with the view out to the flowers, some plates and everything to go with it. I did put that Christmas tree, which you could change out if you'd like. So this is their main living area. kind of a nice place. And I tried to put in as many skill things as possible, like with the bonsai tree. From there, you go upstairs to our little loft area. And in the loft area, I did put a little seat there so that, maybe someone wants to grab a book and sit and read. The parents' bedroom has, again, that kind of black and white feel with the plant vibe, kind of being out in the woods. And they've got their desk, they've got the dresser. I realize I probably should have put a mirror there, but that's on me. Through here, you do have the main bathroom, or the parents' bathroom. And I know it's a real funny shape, but I promise everything should work. I've got, the sink, the toilet, the shower, and I didn't worry about curtains because what are they going to be looking out on? The trees, they're backed up into the forest. So through this door on the loft, you do go out to our patio area. I did go for the jacuzzi because why not? If you're going to live it up, then live it up. But they've got seating out there. They've got a nice place to sit and chill and relax and just enjoy these forest vibes. So back down on the first floor, you do go through this hallway here. And just on the left in the hallway, you do have our laundry. And I wanted to make that just look really nice, fill it up with stuff. This is where I did the most of my move objectsy crap because I just didn't like how small the slots were on this. So I wanted to fill it up with as much stuff as possible. We've got a couple laundry baskets as well. Across the hall from that, we do have the kids' bathroom. Still has that white and black theme, but they've got, double sinks for the kids. They've got plenty of towels to clean up. I've got a, little toddler potty, a bathtub, and a shower. Then we've got our teens room. She's added a little pop of color. She's very creative, and she really likes her animals in there, so that's why she's got all the animal accessories. And then across the hall from her, we've got our child's room and toddler's room. They've got the brightest room of all, obviously, because they wanted to have the most color. They've got their dollhouse, which does work size down like that. And then, of course, in the back, we've got our gym and our workshop area. I did put a sink back there just in case your sim gets really thirsty while they're working out. And then at the back, we've just got a couple of planter boxes. And that's it. That is our octagon house. So please feel free to give me any advice, any feedback. I am always ready to learn. And let me know what you think down in the comments below. So enjoy, and I hope you guys have a really great day.